welcome to Keruga. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, I like this. We've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we've got the lands that we need. We don't really have any ramp, sorcery ramp, but at least having Commander Sphere makes this a little bit easier. And we've got Thassa, a little bit of card advantage during our upkeep, and of course, something to work towards late game and getting those sapling tokens onto the battlefield, which makes me a very happy camper. So let's go and lead off with a Fabled Passage. Just going to crack ourselves a Fabled Passage, grab ourselves a Forest, and then we will jump into covering our commander. So there we go. Have the Forest come down, and then anything else, we're going to pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Keruga, the Dinosaur Hippo. Companion does not apply to this deck because we're just using Keruga as the actual commander. When Keruga enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. So if you have your score sheet at home, if you're keeping score, you can definitely check the Sound the Simic Alarms box because hey, this is what this is. Let's lead off with Flooded Strand. Yeah, that'll work out because next turn we can go for Castle Vantress. And while we're doing it, we'll just go and crack Flooded Strand, and that way we don't forget about it with Nath over there. Let's grab Breeding Pool, have that come into play, not going to pay 2. And then we will pass the turn. Playing against Nath of the Gilt-Leaf. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may have target opponent discard a card at random. Then, whenever an opponent discards a card, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So, pretty nifty. We run into, Guardian Project. So, let's go for Command B. Actually, we'll just go Castle Vantress. And I guess at this point, the scry didn't really matter because we need to kind of roll these out. So let's do this. So let's end up going for Commander Sphere. We'll have that enter the battlefield, and then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/Jolt MTG, 2 things will happen. You'll be able to get some cards for yourself and help support the channel at the same time. So if you want to chip some extra mana into my mana pool, hey, I would certainly appreciate it. Visit that link. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/Jolt. If you're in the market for a playmat, using that link will apply the coupon code and once again, chip in some mana to the mana pool. And also, MTGOTraders. If you want to play this brand new set, there's 2 ways to play it because of the release. They're, delaying the paper release, long story short. So you can play on Arena, or if you want to play Commander, and you probably enjoy Commander because you're watching this video, you can have to play it on Magic Online. So be sure to hit up MTGOTraders if you want any of the new cards. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So there we go. If you'd like to support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. And now it is officially free time. So let's have some fun. Let's have Command Beacon come down. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I still think at this point. So we are online for Venser if we need to stop something next turn. I'm not super wild about that. I think what we're going to end up going for is maybe like Thassa. Yeah, because if we're going to end up going for Tender Shoot Dryad, I would really enjoy getting that City's Blessing going pretty quick. So anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, as far as this build of Keruga, what are we doing? I tried to come up with some sort of theme. When I build a deck, I like to have some sort of core value that, like, hey, this deck is blank because the commander allows this to happen. With this particular commander, it's just, hey, just have a bunch of CMC3 in here. And so I did stagger the building in that, sometimes like little things like card advantage, Thassa, at the beginning of our upkeep, we get to scry. I'm going to go for Grizzly Salvage. But yeah, little things like Thassa, being able to scry during your upkeep, and you're going to be running that over something like 3 mana draw, whatever. Typically, I don't run Commander Sphere, so I kind of went a little bit heavier on the 3 mana 3 converted mana cost mana rock. So there is a little bit of a different deck building, but you are in Simic. You have access to a ton of ramp, and so you don't really have to worry about going super crazy with the deck. So we have Dryad on top of our library. That's going to be an extra land, but we don't have any lands in our hand at this point. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, Dryad is nice. Yeah. Let's put that on the bottom. Let's see if we can't hit the lane drop for the turn right now. Thrain Dynamo. Actually, that does work out pretty well. That's going to be Thrain Dynamo. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this will bust us wide open on mana. That's going to be green, and then 1, 2, 3. We're going to go for Guardian Project. There we go. Now we're getting to spots where we can just straight up just cast Keruga and not worry about it. So anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So, but yeah, the core of this is basically just Simic ramp. This is exactly where you want to be on turn 5 or when you're going for Keruga. We don't really have a lot of creatures out there right now, but we cast Keruga right now. And that's going to be 4 card draw. We're going to get the Guardian Project trigger too, which is pretty nice. So It's just all about just kind of building this slow incremental value. And then as you build that slow incremental value, you're just going to be able to cash in a ton of card draw. And as you build up that value, you've got a lot of mana. It's going to hopefully allow you to transition into that late game and take over the game from there. But we've got a pretty nasty assortment of elves over there. So that's something we do need to kind of watch out for. It's pretty heavy elf. We got a Harbinger, Add Mana, Elvish Mystic. We got a Elf Lord, and we have Marwyn, which is generating about 2 extra mana. So, not the end of the world, but hopefully if we go for Keruga next turn, that's going to allow us to end up with some beginning of your upkeep. Okay, so that's going to allow us to get some pretty good card draw with Keruga. And if we end up discarding one of our cards, hey, so be it. But I think it'll depend on what we can roll out. We might be able, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we hit a land for the turn, that might keep us open on Nature's Lord. Let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. And Crater Hoof. Okay, well, that is good late game. Let's go for Keruga. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 off of Thran Dynamo. And let's go blue and then green. And hopefully we hit a land off this 4 card draw that will allow us. Let's actually have the Guardian Project trigger. Yeah, that's going to work out. So we have the Keruga trigger, then we have the Guardian Project trigger. Because at this point, we're just looking for a land. Temple of Mystery, okay. Not a tap land, though. And then let's cash. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's go Command Tower. And then we are sitting at 8. Anything else? No, because we have 4 mana. That's going to keep us open on Venser. So I kind of like that. Let's just go and pass the turn over to our opponents. So you can see where this is just kind of like, it's kind of like the way in that I play Nin the Paint Artist, in that we're actually just using Nin as just like a quick little hot shot of cards. You can definitely build Keruga in a way that gives you just a wonderful hot shot of cards. So let's go and put the Temple of Mystery, I think. Yeah, we'll discard that one. And then if they want to force us to discard a card, that's fine. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't hit Venser. We got 1 out of 7 chance, because Venser's the one thing that we want. Okay, let's see. Actually, I think they... Target opponent discard a... Oh, excuse me, that was at their end steps. All right, so let's see if they end up going for this discard. Okay. Oh, bummer. They got rid of Ulamog, but we still have Thunderfoot and Crater Hoof. Typically, I don't run Eldrazi in here, but I really enjoy Ulamog because it's so easy to get to 10 mana. And once you have Ulamog come down, it's a pretty sizable threat. You know, you get to exile 2 permanents, and then you get to start eating their entire library, which is always a very nice feeling. So, we'll see what they're casting now. If it's a pretty sizable threat, and they can still recast. Yeah, they've got a lot of mana with Marwyn. If we end up going for Venser, they're just simply just going to be able to recast it. So, let's let this one go through. And what we probably need to do is, because we do have the City's Blessing. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have the City's Blessing. So what we're probably going to have to end up going for is Tindershoot Dryad, because that's going to give us an instant board state once we get Tindershoot Dryad down. And that makes it a lot easier to go for Thunderfoot Baloth and Crater Hoof, and especially with Guy's Cradle. That's going to work out really well. Harmonize... Yeah, let's do this. So let's go Venser on Harmonize. I kind of like this. We're getting an extra creature on the battlefield. If they're digging right now, I don't mind making them tap down some extra mana to recast that again. So let's go and send Harmonize back to the hand. And we'll get that Guardian Project trigger. Lumbering Falls. We're going to send Harmonize back. That does turn on Devotion for Thassa, which is really good. We actually will take that. And they have to tap down Marwyn. So basically, it's going to keep them from swinging in with an 8/8, which we will certainly take. And I don't think we're in danger of getting an alpha strike from our opponent. You know, if they do rock something like Crater Hoof or something, that would be very detrimental to our life total. But I think we can set up Tindershoot Dryad and really kind of make this work, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna have 10 with we'll have 12 mana with a Guy's Cradle, which is a pretty good chunk of mana for keeping score at home. And so we should be able to get some good stuff done next turn, especially playing that Guy's Cradle. We also have the Guardian Project card draw too, which will work out very, very nicely. So you can even see you can build Keruga without a ton of just, pieces that support it. You just need to get stuff on the battlefield. Path of Discovery, let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. And delay. Oh yeah, delay. I like that. So let's lead off with Guy's Cradle. That's going to open us up pretty good on mana. Let's go for Tindershoot Dryad. That's going to be Tindershoot Dryad coming down. That's going to be 4 extra mana. That's going to be a Guardian Project trigger. And we do have the City's Blessing for sure. And we draw into another forest. So we have active delay. We're tapping down for Guy's Cradle for 4. 6, 7. Oh, yeah, that's going to be just perfect for Thunderfoot Bailoff. Yeah, and that'll still keep us open on delay if they have some sort of, board wipe. Now, the only downside with delay, no, excuse me, delay will work because that's going to stop it for the next few turns, and that should set us up for a very nice Crater Hoof. So, all right, this is going to be an extra card draw, Migration Path, and then anything else. No, I think that's going to be it. So everybody does have Trample. We're sitting at a 5/5 and a 4/4. Thassa's indestructible, so I think at this point we might as well just go and swing in with Thassa. Yeah, I mean, we could make one of our creatures unblockable, but let's see what they end up doing on this one. No, actually, we might want to leave back Thassa. I mean, because we're just going to hoof it up next turn, then I think we're pretty good. So, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. They've got 2 cards in the hand, so if they're banking on a board wipe, it's going to wreck their board state, which we can rebuild from that a lot quicker because we will have Keruga going back to the command zone. And we just have a wonderful Crater Hoof to set up for next turn. Let's hope we don't get... Okay, Lumbering Falls off of that discard. Very nice. We will take that. That will be Descendant's Path, so we'll see if they end up grabbing off Descendant's Path. But yeah, you could totally build Keruga in a super, super budget way, too. I mean, all it really just cares about is having stuff on the battlefield, so... grab some of your favorite mana rocks. The main thing that you do want to take away from Keruga is that you just want to have a lot of stuff moving. You want to have a lot of permanents on the battlefield because what Keruga does is it allows you to just kind of exhaust your early hand turns 1 through 5 and then go for Keruga, refuel, and you're good to go. So you can see where our opponent, they do have options like Argos Bloodfast to kind of start drawing into some cards. But thankfully with Keruga, it basically just gives you an extra starting hand once you have a ton of mana, which is pretty much what you want to do in Simic. So, but yeah, and as far as win conditions, it's Crater Hoof and Thunderfoot Bailoff. That's kind of about it. We do have Biomass Mutation in here because we do have access to so much mana. But other than that, it's just getting down some good value creatures. Now, I forgot, we are running the Words of Wind and Words of Wilding in here. This is not necessarily a Words deck, but it's one of those cards that if we can get it down, if you're not familiar, Words of Wind, it's a 3-mana enchantment, and then it has a 1-mana activation that says, hey, it's a replacement effect. If you would draw a card, target player returns a permanent to their hand. And so once that happens, let's say we're going for Keruga right now. We bounce Keruga or something. We tap out all of our mana. We can just plug all of that mana into Words of Wind, and that's going to send all the stuff back to their hand. Also, with Words of Wilding, same thing with Words of Wilding. With Words of Wilding, we pay that mana. We're going to get those 2/2 bear tokens on the battlefield, which really does kind of help us out generating a board state. So I just wanted to have some sort of mana sink, late game, because we are running Conjurer's Closet and Panharmonicon in here. And so having access to those and something to do with that excess mana. So let's say we do have Conjurer's Closet and we have Words of Wind on the battlefield. We bounce Keruga, we draw those cards, we just tap down Guy's Cradle and plug it all into that. So we should be able to close it out next turn. If they're tapping down some of their elves, unless they've got hoof, they're going to hoof it up, and we've got delay. So we'll let this Sword of the Animus go. I'm going to feel a lot better once they kind of pass the turn. Rampant Growth, okay. We could delay that, but I think we're going to be okay with Rampant Growth. And also with Counter Magic. You're wanting to get a lot of permanents on the battlefield. So one thing that you do want to keep in mind is running these kind of situational counter spells that help you just delay what your opponent's doing for a turn or two. Stuff like delay. We've got Arcane Denial that's going to give them some extra card draw. You just want to have these cheap counter spells because there's just a lot of stuff that you want to be doing with your turn. And as long as you can just simply leave up 2 mana, that should put you in a pretty good spot. So, all right, here's all the elves. Let's see if anybody's going to be swinging in. We do have Thassa that is indestructible. And if we need to, next turn, actually, we kind of hoof it up with Crater Hoof, we should be able to make some of our creatures unblockable. So let's get this Tendershoot Dryad trigger. Let's go for the Thassa trigger. That's going to be Upkeep Scurry 1. And let's get that popped up. Let's put that on the bottom for right now. That's going to be an extra sapling token with Tendershoot Dryad. And let's see what we rip into. That's going to be a Windswept Heath. Okay, so let's hoof it up. I think that sounds pretty good. That's going to be Forest. Let's tap down Guy's Cradle. Oh, look at that. It's free real estate on Mr. Hoof over there. And let's click on that. And we can make 3 creatures unblockable. That's going to be Crater Hoof. And I think once we do that, that'll be a good game. So let's have Crater Hoof come down. They're completely tapped out on black mana, which is a very good feeling. They don't have any spot removal. And All right, yep, opponent's going to scoop it up on that one, so we got it. But let's do some Crater Hoof math real quick. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody's getting plus 8. I love that. 8 times 8, that's going to be 64 coming across. One of the ways that even if they do, we do have Trample from Thunderfoot Baloth, and we will get Trample from Crater Hoof. But one of the ways that we could swing past this, let's say that all their elves just have all the Tribal Lords out there. Simply just going for these Thassa activations, target creature you control can't be blocked. We just activate that 3 times because we've got 3 in Dynamo and we have 3 blue sources. And so once that comes through, you know, we're looking at Thassa plus 8. That's going to be 15, 30. So it's simply just Thassa and Keruga swinging across unblockable for 15 damage. That is going to close it out. Now, if we're at a multiplayer table, yeah, that's a good game right there. You're going to be able to swing it out right there. But yeah, the key to a good Keruga deck is just going to be just running Simic Value Town. I mean, you don't have to go super crazy with your land package or your creature package. Just having permanents on the battlefield is good to go. And just imagine if we had Conjure's Closet on the battlefield, bouncing Keruga every turn. Oh, that's a lot of card draw. It also sets you up for Henry's favorite win condition, and that's Laboratory Maniac. But that's going to be it for today's video. In fact, if you enjoyed it, hey, like and subscribe. All right, bye.